I think we're live.
Yo, I'll learn how to fade that out at some point.
That was awesome. Who says white girls can't dance? I can dance. You can dance.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers before we start. Cheers to you, Ann.
Cheers to you, Dallin.
Nice. What are you drinking?
I'm having the Syrah that I talked about on Wine Wednesday, which of course I cannot remember the name of right now, but it's wonderful.
It looks good. I just realized I had no wine, even though I told you I was going to have wine. So this is Sprite and mango and pineapple juice with lime. But I was keeping it classy. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds fabulous.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. So, but yours sounds even more fabulous. But
oh, I love it. I love a Syrah. It's my favorite.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, Syrah, Petite Syrah. Those are my favorite. My favorite of the
red.
The red. Yeah.
Oh, I like Malbec. Have you ever had a Malbec?
Yes. Yes, like those too. I like a real big, punchy in the face red wine.
Yes. Do you remember the first time you ever had red wine, by the way, or whenever that was?
Oh, I think it was probably at like Olive Garden at an absurdly inappropriate age.
I just remember drinking it and saying, "This is disgusting. I'm never gonna have it again." And of course, all these years later, it's my favorite. I love red wine. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I like rosé in the summertime because it's so hot, especially here in New Orleans. But
oh yeah, yes it is.
I have a cold out, my Lauren Paul voice on.
So I actually am about to go into our brand new Twitter. We have sent everyone the link, whoever's watching right now. Also, we want to figure out how to include people. So if anybody has any suggestions on how to do that, we'd love to have you join us for our very first Google Hangout on air with Ann Mahoney, Delaney Peace, Plus Size Inspiration, Plus Size in Media. So Ann, I'm going to log into our new Twitter, okay?
Yes, let's do it.
Copy that. We're going to do this. And is it already dark where you live?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like, it's 9:15. So.
Oh, wow. So
yeah.
it's already, yeah.
Definitely.
We have a little light over here. It's 7:15 over here. You know, but I'm going to come visit you now. I just invited myself.
I would love that. I love to show off my town to people.
Well, I've been watching your Periscopes, and I love what you're showing. It just looks beautiful and serene, and it's just lush. I mean, it doesn't look like, you know, like how you have an idea of what you think a place is if you've never been there. And we all know what movies portray, you know, New Orleans like. And I'm waiting for either a vampire or a voodoo. Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't. You're showing all these other things, and I'm like, it's not as scary as I thought.
No, you want to come. I want to go to. You should do some LA Periscopes too. I'd love to see out there. I've actually never been. I've only ever been to San Diego.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you have it because you had mentioned that you've never been here before. So crazy. Nope. You know, it's really weird too because you see tons of like The Walking Dead advertisements on billboards.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere. So every time I see one, I think of you. Aww. I'm like, there's Ann. Well, not Ann, but you know, because you're not a zombie. But I'm like, but you would laugh because it's your thing, and it's plastered everywhere, all over LA. You know.
Mm.
Well, especially with the upcoming premiere.
Well, I'm hoping that people can see us right now. If you can see us, would you send a tweet to either me or Delaney so that we make sure that it's actually coming through? I hope it is.
Yes. And also a tweet to our new handle, Plus Size in Media. If you have any questions at all, obviously tweet to Ann Mahoney or Delaney Peace, but we also now have Plus Size in Media, and we are taking questions. But please let us know if you can see us. That would be great.
Yeah, this is a troubleshooting one, but also hopefully a fun first chat.
Yeah. You know what we could do while we're waiting to hear back from people? We could talk about if you want to start, just maybe tell people a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's like the first day of school.
Well, I live in New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans. I'm a native, and studied acting. That's in undergraduate school and graduate school. Dylan and I went to undergrad together, and so I've pretty much been acting for about 30 years now, because I started when I was about 10.
Yeah.
And then, so Walking Dead was kind of the breakout for me in film and television, and continues to be. And I love what I do, and I love the craft of what I do. That's why I do it.
Yeah. Yes.
So
I love the craft. What's up?
What about you?
It's so funny because as soon as you said, like, I love the craft, I was ready to go into like an hour of talking about the craft. But we got to stay on track. We got to stay on this
I
craft.
could so talk about the craft forever.
Yeah. According to my mom, I've been acting since I was born, but yeah, that's what I've always wanted to be, was an actress. So, you know, I'm from North Carolina, born and raised, and I moved to New York City after college with Anne, actually. Like right after my year with you, I hightailed it out to New York City, went to a conservatory, loved New York. And actually, I think Anne came to New York too, right after school, right?
I did after grad school. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we were there at the same time, but we didn't know. I'm sure we crossed paths,
Sure.
you know, but there's millions of people there. But yeah, and then now, long story short, moved back to North Carolina for a couple of years, and the indie world out there, you know, I got to dabble in it a little bit, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I needed more. So I debated to either go back to New York or come to LA, and you know, I was like, you know what, I can try LA. Why not? I already have proven that I've done well in New York. If I can make it in New York, I can make it anywhere, right?
That's
So
right.
I've come to LA. And actually, they need to change that saying, because it's actually, if you can make it in LA, you can make it anywhere. Because this place is cutthroat. New York is, from my experience, is more about your talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And LA has proven to be true that it is about who you know and networking. It's a lot of networking. So every time I have an open door for me, it's because I networked. And it's kind of a given that everyone's talented, but at the same time, they don't really like even have to see you. But in New York, they're like, show me what you can do, you know? Yeah. So now I'm a content creator, producer, writer, actress, everything. But I keep saying this, I don't play musical instruments. So that's it.
Awesome.
Yes. So, Anne, has anyone said that if they can see us yet or not, or?
They haven't. I did put a tweet out on my thing and asked if you can see us to let me know. So
Copy that. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, why don't we just go ahead and like jump right in, because we had a couple of things we wanted to talk about. Oh, and you know what? I was thinking about, it's so weird because when we did an introduction, like we just sent out videos to each other the other week, and that was awesome. We were talking about experiences and like when we could remember being body shamed. And I don't know if this happened to you, Anne, but after that conversation, I started, it basically opened up a floodgate, and I started to think about a lot of times when I've been body shamed. It was like therapy, I guess. Did that happen to you, or
Yeah.
It did?
Yeah, it happened to me, absolutely. I started thinking of like, there's some landmark moments in my career where
right.
Sorry, there's a jumping spider over here. That's why I keep looking over there. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you need to just go that way. Yeah, I started thinking about like there's been moments. Oh, I see 4 viewers, so that's cool. So there's somebody to see it. Hey, thank you, 4 viewers. Tell your friends. I started thinking about there's some landmark moments in my schooling, in my career, where it was mostly in my schooling, which I find interesting. Mostly in my schooling where I had those body shaming moments with various people. And it's a trick to me that my body is exactly why I'm cast in my breakout show, which is The Walking Dead.
Right.
I mean, it's not the only reason, but it's part of, that character has to look like that. That's how she looks in the comic book. So Yeah, it totally opened the floodgates for me.
So, I think, and I think the comic, like, does she, I mean, that's who she is, right? Like, she's a plus size woman.
Yeah, she is. She lives in Alexandria, and Alexandria has been behind protected walls, and they've been going on runs, and so they have food, they have beer, they have whiskey, they have, you know, they've found ways to improvise with the ingredients that they have, so they're not starving like the survivors have been on the road, just kind of scrounging for whatever they can, foraging for.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
So she's
well,
supposed
that sounds like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
I was gonna say that sounds like the place to be, is where the beer and the whiskey is. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the spider.
Oh, get that spider!
Okay,
oh my gosh!
I'm sorry, everybody. I don't like to kill things, but I'm like, it's gonna jump on me, and then I'm gonna lose my mind.
Did you just kill a spider?
I did.
The itsy bitsy spider? She killed the itsy bitsy spider. So there you have it, folks. Ann Mahoney just murdered a spider. You did not just do that. Oh my God, that poor spider. It just wanted to join you in your Google Hangout. It wanted to talk about.
It is not plus size spider.
I was about to ask. It's not a plus size spider. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Excuse me.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, so I guess that is a good segue into what I love is that, yes, you have a character that you have booked that she happens to be a plus size actress, and that wasn't an issue for you. No. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is it's like an isolated event, because in Hollywood and in most storytelling, we do not have any characters that are written where it's written where this woman is who she is and she just happens to be plus size. So it's not going to be a joke. It's not going to be seen as a negative thing. It just is. It's kind of like real life, you know, like, right? So that's what I love about this role that you are in as Olivia. But I'm telling you, we need more Olivias. We need this in pretty much every storyline I can think of. Like, I would love to know if anyone, especially on Twitter, is watching this, if you can think of any TV show or film where you know of a curvy woman. And you know what I mean? And curvy, we mean curvy. Not a size 8. We love our size 8s, but I mean, let's think about like size 14, 16, 18, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because we don't have that. We don't have a fair or a balanced representation of women who happen to be plus size.
And I wonder why that is. I mean, like, I part of it, I think, is because we need more women producing work, because, you know, more women who are producing and directing and writing work are going to say, you know, there's a bigger variety out there of women who men find attractive. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I think that's certainly part of it, but I don't know. What is it? Why? Why don't we have?
That's interesting that you just said like who men find attractive, because most of, you know, our screenwriters are males, and they are writing through a male gaze. So it has been a lenience in how they write for themselves. For any male character you see, they can kind of show up as all shapes and sizes and ages, and they can still be a hero or the lead, you know. But usually when they're writing a role for a woman, that is not the case. And I wonder if it's because in real life, you know, I'm just wondering, is it because they're saying, well, if I was this character, this is the kind of woman that I would fantasize about, or this is who I think other men would fantasize about, you know? Right. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just wondering, is that a little bit of it, you know? Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, like, I mean, it's got to be part of it, but the fact is that, like, I think you and I have said this before, I've had no trouble.
You know, here we go.
Interested in me and in my life, you know, and there's a lot of girls, cheers to that I know who are not itty bitty, who actually that's what some men really like. So yeah, I don't know. I wonder why. I think part of it is just that it's tradition, that it's itty bitties on screen. but it's time to kind of break tradition. It's time to go, okay, we can still have that, and then we can also have this. We can put a curvy girl in a love interest role, and
I totally agree.
Yeah, and not go, he loves her even though she's fat. Isn't he great? You know what I mean? We could just put her in the role and not talk about it, because it's like,
right.
I tell you, it's not a topic of conversation my husband and I discuss every day. He's not like, my wife's fine and has booty. You know, he's like, she's just fine. It's just my wife, you know? So, that's
you know, and all the men who get hugs from me, I will have to say there are no complaints, and they usually are like, they don't want to stop hugging me because I happen to feel very good. So
yeah, my kids love to snuggle on me because it's soft. You know, it's not squishy. It's strong and soft.
Yes, and they also feel very safe because they're with mama, and they know that she is fierce. You know, and but I mean, I would love for even the roles that are written for the usual typical petite girl. We have had some breakthroughs with like Agent Carter, or or on film, we've got Hunger Games, and we have a few characters where they are being portrayed as strong. You know what I mean? But it still we need to change shapes and sizes. All of us can be strong. You know what I mean? All of us can be healthy. And I'm just tired of being the punchline or having my other plus.
So the one role that I turned down, and they weren't even going to make me audition for it, and I'm not going to name the movie.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't even know if the movie eventually, I don't think the movie even got made. But they basically called my agent at the time and said, we would love to just offer Anne Mahoney this role. And first I was like, oh, wow, that's awesome. This is like, I want to say it was 4 or 5 years ago. And they said, and I was like, well, let me read it and kind of see. Well, it was the chunky girl in the sorority, and she gets gang raped.
Oh my gosh.
And they did a whole joke about her kind of being bounced between guys and her fat jiggling and this and that. And I was like, that would be a no.
Right.
I'm not okay with being the butt of the joke, you know? Right. So, and I feel like that's a lot of the writings like that, you know? Right. It's one thing if somebody makes a joke and you stand up for yourself, because for me, that's life. It's just like when, I've had those experiences in my schooling where usually man, sorry guys, says to me, you really should lose some weight or whatever. And I've stood up for myself. Right, so I don't mind it if the woman appears strong and undefeated by it. But when she's the punchline of the joke, I have a real problem with it. Yeah.
No, I do too. Yep. And my last agent that I had out here, we talked, and she knew that I didn't want to be the brunt of the joke, and she knew that I didn't want to be a weight loss commercial, and we go through the list, and when you go through the list of what I'm telling her I'm not going to do, and she's in agreement with me. She said, there's not going to be anything for you. We're not going to get you anything. And I said, well, I know, but you never know. So, and honestly, it has been far and few between when I've been able to go to something, and I have gone to some weight loss commercials that are quote unquote positive weight loss commercials, but it's not okay, and I don't like it, and that's all that's out here, to be honest. So that's why I love you out there in New Orleans. You are doing just fine.
Well, I can tell you, I'm sure you're familiar with the Fink Cannons, the casting agency.
Of course, yeah, I know them well, yes.
Okay, so they're big time in the Southeast. They've cast like Ray, they cast The Blind Side, they've cast a ton of amazing stuff, and they are the ones who put me up for Olivia and The Walking Dead, Big Mama's House 2, like a lot of the major stuff has been through them for me. And so they have Craig and Mark and Lisa May. And Lisa May and I just love this. This goes along with our idea of like women supporting women. When I just had my son, so it was like a year after I had my son, I still had baby weight, still looked like I was kind of pregnant. And I came for this audition in Atlanta, and I kind of like apologized to Lisa for the way I looked. And she,
oh no,
I did. This was before. This is we're going to talk today about the tracking negative thinking. This has been in the last 2 years, kind of has been when I've really started working on being real cognizant of that and changing my mentality. But Lisa May wrote to my agent, and she said, I just want you to know that I feel like Anne feels like she has to apologize for herself, but I just think she's so beautiful. And I just want her to know how beautiful and talented I think she is, and to have confidence in that. And I just thought, here's this amazing casting director who casts major stuff. She didn't have to send that email, you know?
right.
She saw my vulnerability as a woman at that moment. I'm sure she even saw, without knowing it, like my history. And she said, I'm going to send a note to her agent and just let her know that I think she's exceptional and that she doesn't need to apologize and that she's beautiful. And I thought, man, this is it. This is what it's about, you know? So,
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's amazing because I know how incredibly busy they are. But
Yeah.
she stepped in when you were having a personal moment of body of shame. You self-inflicted it, you know, and she stepped in. She felt called to do that. And I really appreciate that because you all, casting agents don't have to do that. And they're never known to do anything like that, to be perfectly honest. That's a really, really touching story. And I hope that you never, ever apologize for who you are ever again, you know? I mean, I think at this point we're all a little more self-actualized than we were before. And it's a process, though. I think we all have our personal journeys of where we're at. But that actually, speaking of that, oh, you know what? I wanted to say, because we have our little list, but I was thinking about this one story, and it was when I was in New York, and it was, you know, just another weird moment of how I allowed something to get to me because of my body. And we were auditioning for some dance show at my conservatory, and it was down to this one woman who is your typical perfect ballet dancer body, and she's very, you know, just perfect. And then it was down, and me, and it was down to us two. And I was, looking back, I was itty bitty. So anyway, long story short, they put a guy in there who was supposed to lift us up and do like a lift with us. It was this, like, you know, lyrical dance. And the guy was actually really good friends with that other girl, and he wanted her to win, of course, or get the role. And every time he went out with me on the floor to do the lift, he grunted. And he was like, he did. Every time he picked me up, he was like, you know, like this. And then every time he did it with her, and we had my dance teacher, he was struggling, like, who am I going to choose? Because I was holding my own, you know. But every time there was a lift with me, he grunted, and it was a struggle, and he made like a dramatic act about it. And with her, he acted like it was just lifting air. And you know what I did, Anne? I didn't fight for it after being humiliated like the 6th time in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went over to the teacher, and I said, you know what? She deserves it. She's better than me. I'm not going to do it. And it's not that she was better than me. It's that I allowed that guy with his grunting and his you know, what he was doing when he was attempting to lift me. I allowed that to affect me, you know? So I bowed out, and my head was hung low, and I hated myself for that, because deep down I was like, Delaney, this isn't you. Why did you know? Yeah, so I just needed to share that because I'm very interested in hearing from a lot of the people watching this if they have gone through things like this as well, you know? But I feel like we just had a question pop up. Did you see that question pop up?
Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
get
let
it
me
through
see.
chat or me sending it to you through Twitter?
Oh, here we go. Twitter. Yes. Perfect. It is from Chow Machala or Machala. She's going to kill me for butchering this. At Chow Machala. Okay. This says Anne Mahoney and Plus Size Media. Have you met Melissa McCarthy and have you had discussions about plus size women in media?
I wish we've met Melissa McCarthy. I think I would be starstruck. I think I would be like, I love you, you're amazing. Haven't met her, but follow a lot of her stuff because the struggle is real, y'all. And she has borne the brunt of the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the moment that makes me just love her so much, and I'm gonna have to like censor myself because it's a curse word, but in her movie Spy, when the dude says to her, "You are so effing hot," and she just looks at him, and she just looks at him like, "Uh-huh." She has, and there's not an ounce of disbelief in that moment.
Right.
And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know, go you. So I wish. Have you met her? I haven't.
I have crossed paths with her, but I cannot say that she knows me or I personally know her. But out here, running into a celebrity, it's like, I mean, it's like you could hit a rock and you'll hit a celebrity. I mean, it's interesting and you just get used to it very quickly. And there's very few people who you do get starstruck
Yeah.
by. But Melissa McCarthy, when I do cross paths with her again, I will say, I need to meet you so now I can tell everybody who's watching that we met you. And of course, we're all on the same journey. I mean, she's got a fashion line now. She's had some trouble in the past. I know Ann and I are going to talk about that topic maybe next week. So Melissa, you know, the struggle is real for her. At the same time, though, she represents like the 1% of our plus size world. So she's had a lot of struggles and she's taken a lot of punches. And even she is still getting it better than a lot of the other actresses out there. So I would love to meet her someday and say, how does that feel to be like, you are in a good place, but at the same time, you're taking the punches. She's taking them the most out of all of us, you know? But what I love the most about just anything that she does is that she has a male director, writer, he's rooting for her. He's like her biggest fan. It's Paul Feig. He did Bridesmaids. He did Spy. Yeah. And I just feel like he has this game plan with her that he's going to make sure he can put her in the lead in every single one of his films, you know, and she's a great actress. She's hilarious. And she's someone who just happens to be plus size. So it doesn't have to be about that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love him. I follow him on Twitter, and I'm always like, hey, Paul, it's another plus size actress. Yeah, right? And Delaney and Melissa would like to do the Three Amigas.
Oh, my God, that would be hilarious to redo that movie, right? With Steve Martin and Chevy Chase and, Martin Short. One of my favorite movies of all time. Oh, my gosh. I still watch it, and I laugh so hard at it. Like I'm a kid all over again.
Oh, I know. It's so good. I mean, and over time, it just gets funnier and funnier. Okay, we have another question, Anne. Are you ready for it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is from Erica Hiddlestone. Or I'm sorry, I'll say the Twitter handle if anybody, so people can start getting to know each other. It's at TWDT or TWDT.
Retweets. Yes. Hello.
Copy that. Yeah. Okay, her question is, what do you think of My Big Fat Fab Life? So what do you think? You want to go first?
I have not seen it, so I can't comment. I have little ones, so most everything I watch is animated.
Uh-huh.
It's like I watch animated and The Walking Dead.
Wow, you must have trouble sleeping at night.
Yeah, right? Dancing hippos and zombies trying to eat my brains. Yeah, it's kind of difficult.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, okay. I love My Big Fat Fab Life. By the way, shout out to Greensboro. It's filmed in Greensboro, North Carolina. That's my hometown, and Anne has been there as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I love that they keep it on location in Greensboro. I think it's good. I think that it's raising a lot of awareness for the PCOS, which is what Whitney Waythor has. And at the same time, what I love about Whitney, she's so real and she holds herself accountable because she tells people publicly. She says, yes, this is my PCOS, but at the same time, there's a lot of weight on me that I'm accountable for, that I did because she's been depressed or she was going through stress. And
Yeah.
she doesn't try to blame it all on one thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that girl, I actually know Whitney. We did a YouTube video together. You guys should check it out sometime. It's called Fancy. We do a lip syncing to Fancy, and it's not fancy at all. So, but anyway, she's got more energy than an army. And she's an amazingly talented dancer, and she breaks the stereotypes. That's why I love My Big Fat Fab Life. I love that, like, you see someone who's genuinely happy with herself. She loves herself, and she is not apologetic about it. And she is inspiring to so many people because of that. Because a lot of women are being shamed every day, and they're not loving themselves. And Whitney is a great role model. You know what? Speaking of Whitney, I think you and I will have her on here.
That would be amazing.
We'll get her. We'll get her like after the fashion segment that we do. We'll call it. We'll do a call in with Whitney.
Cool.
Cool. That was a good question. Thank you. Let's see. I think we have another question. Let's see. Oh, somebody said it's Elegant Bellies at Elegant Bellies. I love that name. Thank you for the follow. Are you ladies in LA? And what's funny is, Anne, you're kind of in an LA.
I mean, I'm in Louisiana.
Yes.
There's actually a bumper sticker down here since we have so much film work down here. Now there's a bumper sticker a lot of people have that says this is L.A., not LA.
Copy that. Hey, we deserve it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I am in LA. I'm in Los Angeles. But what is amazing about social media is that you meet the most interesting people, and you could someone like Anne is proving that she can still live her dream and not have to be in LA or New York City. I think in 2015 you can be anywhere and you can pursue your dream. You know, times have changed, right, Anne?
Absolutely.
Remember 20 years ago we would have had to move to New York or LA, and that's it.
Well, right? And that's when we were going through school. That was what everybody would say. Gotta go to New York. And I went to New York. I lived there, but I moved there before 9/11, so it was like the worst time ever to go there as an actor. But I'm so thrilled that I get to be in my home, you know, in New Orleans. And I mean, although I work in Atlanta all the time, so it's kind of funny. I end up being
that is interesting. And I know this sounds kind of. I have a question for Anne. Do you drive to Atlanta or do you fly to Atlanta? What do you do?
Last season I drove to Atlanta, and this season I'm flying. But I fly out there because I just got really, you know what happened is like the drive up was fine. It was the drive home where I would get really anxious about seeing my kids and like working at home. So by the time I got home, I was like a wreck. I was like bawling. Like,
oh, I bet. Yeah.
You know, so I was like, I can't do that anymore. I'm going to fly. And in that way,
do you and your kids, do you guys do like FaceTime or Skype or something? Or
we do, if I can land at the right time between school and bed and all that stuff. But yeah, we do. My littlest one doesn't quite get it, you know. She's like, she'll like touch the screen and kiss the screen. Like she's like, how are you not here? You know, it's just kind of heartbreaking.
So sweet. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? At least y'all are doing that. My poor mama in North Carolina, I am still trying to get her to at least figure out FaceTime or Skype or something. And people have to go to her house and just turn it on. And for the first time on my birthday, which was like 2 weeks ago, someone did like it was called Uvu. It's an app. It's just like Skype or whatever. So you should have seen it. She was like, oh my god. It's like she'd never seen
It's like
a camera.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like she forgot it was my birthday. She forgot all of that. All she cared about was that she could see a moving image in front of her face. It was hilarious. So, you know, welcome to technology, Mama Peace.
You know, my husband's mom is, well, his parents are Hungarian, and they sound Hungarian. And
Oh, okay.
his mom, it's so funny, her cell phone message, like you can tell that most of her adult life was spent in the age of answering machines.
Oh, yeah.
Her voicemail message goes like this. I'm going to call myself out. I'm going to do her accent. I love her. She goes.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah. So it says, please leave a message for Agnes Hader. She says it really slow and really loud with a big pause, just like you would on your answering machine, because it's a tape and it's crappy. So you want to be like, make sure people can understand, but it's on her voicemail. And every time I call and leave a message, I just crack up. It's so funny. She's hilarious. She's one more quick Aggie impression. She's telling me a story about her exercise class. It goes like this. Honey, I go to this exercise class for osteoporosis. And the guy who teaches the class puts on this song, what is called Who Let the Dog Out? And we all say, if you don't turn off this song, we're going to leave, because we don't care who let the dog out.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
My mother-in-law. She's awesome. I love her.
She sounds really cool. I like her. I don't even know her. Okay, that's really. Is she in New Orleans as well, or?
New York. It's my folks that live here in New York, and my husband's New Orleans, and my husband's folks live in New York.
Copy that. Okay, all right, man. She's a character.
She is awesome.
Good accent, by the way.
Thanks, dude.
So, okay. Well, why don't we go into and by the way, everybody, Anne is drinking a Petite Syrah. Delaney is drinking Sprite with mango and pineapple splashes.
Delaney really wants to be drinking bubbly.
Right? So we probably will start a new thing with Anne drinking wine and Delaney drinking whatever she can get her hands on in the house. Yeah. So, all right. So let's go into how we love women who are supporting women. Yay! Yes. Okay. So, and let's start it with you, because she did a Periscope. Was it last week, or was it this week? It's just run by, but you did a Periscope and you actually started talking about that, and my ears went into alert. I was like, alert, she's talking about women who don't support other women. Yeah. And now what did you call it? Because I had a name for it too. What were you saying? I called it the Island Nation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I've said that I think that all women, but between like the age of like 17 and 27 should be on an island together and have to fight it out.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. No, but like there's this thing that happens. I call it the starvation mentality.
Yes.
Right?
That's it. Yeah.
Which is just like, there is only so much to go around. And if you take a piece, I'm going to starve. Therefore, if I have a piece, I'm going to hang on to it for dear life and try to make sure you don't get a piece. And if that means I have to say bad things about you, if that means I have to bring you down, whatever I have to do to make sure that you don't have a piece of this. But the truth is that work begets work, right? It's so that if we give more, it becomes more. If we're not precious about it and saying like, if you get this role, that means that I've lost it, therefore there's less roles for me. That's not what it is. It means that role wasn't for you and there's more out there. And that if I can support that other woman and say, you're doing amazing things and I am behind you and I support you, then in actuality, we're going to perpetuate positive. And it's going to just turn into more.
No, absolutely. And that's something that And this conversation is such an important piece. I think this is one that we're going to keep coming back to, because it is so ingrained in us that this starvation mentality. But here's the thing. We've been conditioned. I mean, Anna and I talked about this. We've been conditioned to think that there's not enough for us out there. And some of the problems are because for women, we don't have as many opportunities as men. We do, for all intents and purposes, unfortunately, we are in a patriarchal society. It's set up that way. We are looked a certain way. And, this is how much of an artist I am. I know, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, the power of storytelling. Film, TV, radio, podcasts, blogs, everything you see, how women are set up. A lot of it is that we're set up to fail. And because of that, in real life, because it's copying art, it's imitating art, we don't have as much opportunity. And in real life, women say, uh-oh, this is me against 20 other people, 20 other women, and I've got to get it, and I'm just going to do everything I can to make sure that they don't get it. And I have been shown through life, personal and professional, when you help someone else, more doors open. When you help, just keep helping and keep doing for others, and lift up the women, because we don't know everyone's backgrounds. And I've had a lot of women not be nice to me, but I try to be nice to them, and I'll still help them. And we can all have more opportunity. And like, even with Anne, since we've been talking, you and I have learned so much from each other, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
And there's things I didn't even think of until you and I started talking, and now I'm like, wow, this is a whole new world that we can, uncover together that we didn't have a couple of weeks ago. Because we're really excited. Anne and I were talking about like plus size fashion world. It's bigger. It's getting better. We have more plus size representatives for us in the fashion world, and that's incredibly important. But we have lack of representation for actresses and dancers. We have lack of representation, and we want to start this topic because we want to succeed, just like we're seeing a lot of our plus size model friends succeed. And there's room for all of us, right, Anne?
There's room for all of us. There is enough. I think that's the excuse me, that's the reverse of the starvation mentality, which is there is enough. It is out there.
Yeah. Do you experience that in New Orleans, like definitely, on your everyday,
definitely,
like personal? You do? Okay.
Yeah. Because we do work a lot. There's a lot of work here, and so there's this. I not with all women, but some women I definitely find are like, not happy for you that great things are happening, or they're not genuinely happy for you. You can just tell. I can just tell. I'm like, one of my acting teachers said I should never be a director because you can read what I'm thinking all over my face.
Whoa, really?
Which is probably, like I direct anyway, but I just don't lie. It's just like, I just say what I'm thinking. But that's I find that with people, I can just read people. And when someone is telling me, like, I'm so happy for you, and you're like, you are so not happy for me. I can so tell, and versus a person who's just like, I'm really amazed at what's happening in your life. And because they see that what's happening to you adds to them, right? Because it's all connected.
Right. I knew a woman who she was pretty successful. She's worked on a lot of things, and she was at an audition for a very big show with one of her best friends. Her best friend was auditioning for the same role, and her best friend booked it. She was not happy about it, and her best friend doesn't book what she books. I mean, her best friend does not even get half of what this woman gets. And she actually was pretty unhappy that she didn't get it. And I'm like, dude, there's enough to go around. And I love that the person who doesn't get the opportunity, got something, because she rarely gets anything. You know what I mean? But it was just kind of sad to be a witness of that. I don't.
What in the acting world too is that the roles that are for you are for you.
Right.
And there is nothing anyone else can do to take them from you. The only thing you can do to lose them is to not be prepared and not work, right?
Right.
The roles that are not for you are not for you. And there is nothing that you can do preparation-wise, changing your look, hanging upside down, to make these roles yours, because they're just not. And so you might as well just be real happy for the person who's getting it, because it's their role.
I mean, you guys, to be honest, and Anne can vouch for me, when you walk in the room, that's pretty much your audition. They know if you're the part when you walk in the room.
Yep.
Before you open your mouth.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They already know. And they want you to be the person. Like they want to end their day. They don't want to be there from 9 to 5 looking at 800 people for the same role. You know? So there's nothing you can do. All you can do is be yourself. To thine own self be true. I quote that all the time.
Yep.
You know, from that Bill guy. So
do your work, prepare, be on top of your craft, be at the top of your game. But other than that, there's so little you can do about what roles are yours. Now, that going along with what we've been saying about the plus size roles, I think that is a factor that needs to change, which is the roles that are yours and not yours, right? Mm-hmm. All of them need to be open to a lot more variety of who those are.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally agree. But I think we should do, because we're about to go to the next topic, but ladies everywhere tonight, the night's not over yet. Even if it's just a text message or an email or a Facebook post, find a woman, and we all know this woman who is not having a good day and she's not feeling good about herself. And this is your mission right now, is to find someone and say something nice to her and lift her up and let her know that she is a rock star. Or that she's fierce, or whatever. Maybe she doesn't want to be a rock star, but I would love to be told I'm a rock star. And I think you're a rock star.
Oh, I think you're a rock star, Delaney. I really, my Lauren Bacall voice. I really, really do. I'm so glad that we've reconnected, because I think it's a powerful combination.
Well, what's great is, like, I keep telling people this: when you can find someone who you're aligned on the same mission, with our passion to be, working actresses, and we also love women of all shapes and all sizes, and we want to see them all represented. We are aligned in that same way of thinking. You and I will meet our goals much more quickly than when we were by ourselves. You know what I mean? Right?
Positive begets positive.
Hello. Did you? Oh, by the way, I said in my first little video about you, do you get Arwen a lot from Lord of the Rings?
No, I don't. I love that though. What? I love it.
You are her. If they ever recast, I am going to. I'm doing a campaign for you, girl. I'm serious. Yes. No, I would love that too, because when I see you, I know she's Arwen.
Elf years. It's not really working.
We'll get you some. We'll buy you some. You can wear them for the next segment. My dog is joining this podcast. He's been staring at me since we started this, and I feel very bad. So our next question, our next topic is, and Anne, again, I'll let you lead this, tracking negative thinking. Yes, I'm excited to get into this one.
So I'm not ashamed to say that I have a therapist. Everyone in my life is very happy I have a therapist. But she's amazing. She's very practical, and I like that. She's practical suggestions. And I've been going to her for a while, and she was like, well, and I've been talking a lot about low self-esteem. Your dog is so cute. I can't take it.
I'm making her get down, because we got to focus. We got to focus.
Distraction. She's so cute. Anyway, so I've been telling her about my low self-esteem, and I've been talking about my experiences, like we've talked about, my career, and mostly in my educational setting, ballet, etc. And she said, well, okay, what I want you to do for the next week till you see me again is I want you to just notate. You don't have to write it down. Just notate in your head every time you say something negative to yourself, about yourself. And I laughed out loud. I was like, please, I love myself. I don't say anything right. I was like, I almost was like, this is a bogus thing for her to have me be doing. But I was like, all right, fine. And then I did it. And I was alarmed at the number of awful, awful things I said to myself.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It was a real eye-opener for me because I just assumed that I was fierce and, you know, I've been through a lot of life and a lot of disasters, and I thought I was just real settled with myself and fine with myself and I was good. Then I was like, the things that I was saying to myself were things that I would divorce a friend for, a friend I would never speak to again.
Right.
Yet I was okay with telling myself those things.
Yeah, isn't that interesting how that works out? Like, because we'll treat a friend better than we'll treat ourselves when it comes to those words, right?
Yes. Just awful stuff. And a lot of it. Like, one day I was like, I have said like 50 awful things to myself today.
Oh, wow. 50 in one day.
So, but by the second day and the third day, I was more aware of it. So I was like, ooh, I had already started doing what she was going to have me do next, which was start to try to redirect that thinking. But I think for, you know, you and I talked about asking our people before next week's show to just take the next 7 days and do nothing except notice. Notice every time that you say something. And then we'd love it if you would post a comment or a tweet or even better, a video right on our channel. Send us a video or post it or however you do that. I don't technology.
Yeah.
To say what, you know, how many times did you say something awful to yourself today? And maybe give us the couple of the greatest hits, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and I told Anne I thought about putting like one of those rubber bands on my wrist, but I knew that I would probably wear out the rubber band because I'm just like her. I wear it on my chest that I'm awesome and I'm fierce and I think I'm great. But when I was really forced to count how many negative thoughts I had in my day, I was like, this isn't me. I didn't realize that I felt this way about myself. And you know what, y'all? All of them are about my body image. And I can sit here all day and say, I'm so proud of this. But if you're in my brain, and I see myself in the reflection, I'm always like, stand up straighter. Or,
shoulders back, chin out.
Yeah. Hold your chin up and make sure your clothes are more fitted and, adjust. I'm adjusting all day my shirts, all day. And, Anne, while you were talking, I Googled how many negative thoughts the average person has a day. And it says humans have anywhere from 12,000 to 6,000 thoughts per day. And 80% of our thoughts are negative. So roughly 40,000 of the thoughts you have per day are negative thoughts. So, not just about yourself, but just about something in general, like maybe you hate traffic or you don't like someone you saw. I don't know. But the point is, you guys, that's a lot of negativity. Oh my goodness.
And then you go, why is what I want in my life to be happening not happening? Or why am I not able to, go out and grab life by the balls the way I want to? And it's like, well, because you're talking yourself down all the time.
No, it's true. Like, we need to flip the percentages there. I think it needs to be 40,000 positive thoughts per day. So that's another thing that Anne and let's just call this like Anne and Delaney homework.
Yeah, I like it.
Everybody has homework. So not only are you going to lift a woman up before the day's over, but starting, do you want to start it right now or start it tomorrow? Let's start
now. Before you go to bed.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's going to be cognizant of the negative thoughts that they are thinking about themselves, and then everyone is also going to be cognizant about putting more positive thoughts into themselves. So as soon as you start to get into that negativity land with your mind, with your brain, flip it, everyone. We can turn this stuff around. I know we all have different levels and it's easier said than done, but Anne and I are here for you all. So we are your sounding board. Please give us your videos. You can also tweet to Plus Size in Media, and obviously Anne and I have our Twitter handles as well. We will be here for you. We are your support team. Please leave comments under our YouTube channel too. This is the first time we've done this, but it seems like I feel like we've had tremendous feedback. We've got some really amazing, significant people helping us through this. Everybody
just wrote, "It is me who is my enemy, me who beats me up, me who makes the monsters, me who strips my confidence."
Yeah. Yeah. That's deep.
Really?
Wow, this was amazing, Anne. I think what's funny is everybody, Anne and we were only going to do 10 minutes. So, right?
I should have been able to be like, Delaney, you dreaming. You dreaming.
Okay. I was going to say 2 Southern women.
I was just going to say that. 2 Southern women.
One of them drinking red wine, by the way. We really going to be done in 10 minutes? I don't think so. Yeah, that is a marker. It took her almost an hour. Oh my gosh. So, and we had amazing questions from really cool people. I love every single question that we got tonight. We really appreciate everyone who interacted and engaged with us. So as we continue with this thing, and we'll find our rhythm, right, Anne? We might, who knows, we might do this more than once a week. We never know. But we also want to have people start to join in with us, right, Anne, in these Google Hangouts? Yeah. Okay, so we'll start to see everyone's lovely faces pop up, and we can have a group discussion, which would be cool. Yeah, very awesome. Okay, so everybody subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Twitter. We will follow you back. Let's keep the discussion going, and let's all hold each other accountable for positive thoughts and supporting other women. And everyone get back to us on updates, both good and bad. None of us are perfect in this, right? Yeah. We love all shapes, all sizes. We love ourselves, right? Hashtag love yourself, right? Awesome. Okay, I guess that's it. Are we gonna say bye? It's so hard to say bye.
I'll put our music on. We can dance out, and then I'll stop the broadcast, and we can just say bye to each other too. Okay? So I love
it. Let's do it.
The music on that I made up. Ready?